Storage Wars, the show that took America by storm in the mid-2000s. High-stakes bidding, buried treasures, and the rush of the unknown. The gamble, huge. The rewards, even bigger. Today, we're stepping into a different kind of mystery, helping someone pull a long-forgotten muscle car out of a storage unit. How long has it been sitting? What condition is it in? And will it even roll out? Let's crack this thing open and find out.
So I think it's this one. Let's see if the key works.
Hopefully it works. It's not frozen.
Oh, maybe it's in the right one.
Oh, it's going into the wrong one.
I feel like it's Storage Wars. Uh-oh.
Technical difficulties.
Are you sure it's 5046?
Uh-oh. All right, we were actually at the wrong one for real.
All right, 5045. Give it a wiggle.
I got it.
There we go.
I think it's going to come up.
Big reveal it.
Let's do it.
Oh, look at that wing.
Dude, this thing barely fits in there.
Yeah, they were using every square foot that they had here, for
Yeah.
sure. Mike, you ever seen a 442 with a wing like this?
I've only seen one, and it's a guy that leaves it outside. It's in awful condition, but yeah, I have seen one. I do like these wings on here.
This thing's actually pretty nice. Oh, and the interior is nice. No rips or tears in the leather. All white.
This white will come back on the interior, though.
Oh, absolutely. The 50/50 is going to be insane on this. Oh, it's got brand new tires on it. So he must have replaced it.
We need to get this thing out of here so we can get a good look at it.
I think we're in neutral. Let's get to pushing.
You want me back here to kind of slow it? Because it's going to come off this, and then we got
a slope going up. If it rolls all the way into the other garage, I'll buy it.
All right.
Oh, boy.
Here, I got a watch on that.
Okay.
Side. This thing is heavy.
Okay.
Okay.
Whoa.
That was nice.
Wanted to giddy up and go on us.
There
Oh,
we go.
Mike, it's going to hit the garage. Oh, no, Mike.
No, we're good. We're
Mike,
good.
stop it.
This thing's heavy.
Guess we should get the backstory on how it ended up in that storage facility. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Trish,
Trish, I'm RJ.
nice to meet you.
This is a beautiful car. How did it end up in the storage locker like that?
My husband was in the Navy, and so we moved around a lot, and so we just ended up putting it in there, and it's just been in there since 1999.
Wow. I was only born in 1996, so almost for my whole entire life, this car has been sitting in that locker right there.
Yeah.
I had heard about some stories the new owner had mentioned about the car, about how much fun you had back in the day. On streets in Mexico, you guys would do a little bit of racing here and there.
Yeah.
I'm sure plenty of good times were had in this car, and especially back then, bringing out the 442. I'm sure you guys won quite a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
So what's the plan for it now? I know you were the previous owner. You're now giving it away, if I'm not mistaken, to a family friend?
Yep, he's known the car as long as we have.
Oh, cool.
He's, been in the family as long. He's the only person we knew that would take care of it the way we would want it taken care of.
Well, I can promise you that we're going to take care of it as well. We're going to make it look as nice as possible, and then we're going to try and get it running, speed up the restoration process, and get her back on the road so maybe you can go for a ride in it again.
Yeah, and maybe his daughter can have her first date in it someday.
There you go. Oh, you had your first date in
Yeah,
this?
had
Oh,
my
man.
first date in this car.
Oh, that's cool.
The one that we're giving the car to was with us so it was a double date, first date.
Oh, wow.
So,
So a ton of
yeah.
history. Does this car make you like him more?
Well,
All right, as we put the rollers on so that we can move the car to get it into the trailer, we met Bob, who is the family friend, the new owner of the 442, the gentleman that plans on taking it back to the street eventually.
Yes, oh yes.
Well, I had a question. What did you do to the car since it was in the storage facility? Because I see that there's brand new tires on the rear already.
Correct. When I saw the first condition on it, and my goal was to just get it towed home. So the tires were completely flat. Rear tires would not hold any air. Went across the street to Summit Racing. They swapped out the rears for me.
Oh, nice.
And then the front ones I expected to have to do the next week, and they actually held air.
Heck yeah, well, we're going to move it, get into the trailer, that way we can get to work.
And now we're going to start loading the car up into our trailer so we can get it out of here and back to the shop. But I want to remind you guys, if you're not subscribed to our channel, to take a second and hit that subscribe button. And do not miss our video that we release on March 1st, because it is one of our biggest videos ever. It's the reason we took off last week from posting, and we are working on something massive just for you guys. You don't want to miss it. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. All right, guys, we're back at the shop with the 442. And really quickly, before Mike and RJ talk about it, I wanted to tell you guys about a giveaway that we're running right now until the 25th of February, where you could win a free pair of AirPods Pros. And all you have to do is join the WD Auto Supply newsletter, which is in the link in the description. Click it, join it. You might as well anyways, because if you're not on there, every single week we put out a little teaser of what we're gonna be working on for the week. Plus you get exclusive deals to our auto supply line, so you might as well be on there if you're not anyways. And you have a chance to win free AirPods Pros, which Mike and I don't even have a pair, so you'll have them before we do. Go click it, sign up. Let's go talk about this car.
All right, so usually this is the introduction where we talk about the things on the car that we like, the condition of the car, but we have a different plan of action for this video's introduction because not only do we have one 1971 muscle car in the shop, but we have a 1971 Pontiac GTO that we had filmed a couple weeks ago that's waiting to go back to the owner. And we thought it would be fun for us to talk about each car, the differences, and what we did like or didn't like between the two. Now, me and Mike are on the same page and think the 442 looks sweet, especially with the kick butt wing and the big hood scoops and the locking hood pins.
Yeah.
We think it looks cooler and more mad, more angry, and it's got a bigger motor.
Like I do love the front end of this GTO, and I thought I liked it more than this other car, the 442, but after having it in the shop and really looking at them next to each other, I do like the front end more on this car. It looks more angry than the other car.
I couldn't agree more. It does look angrier. The hood scoops are bigger, obviously bigger motor car. I think it has more curb appeal, aggression throughout the whole entire design queue. And now we're here to dunk on Brent because he thinks that the GTO is a better looking car.
Okay, this is a rare occasion where I come out from behind the camera because I absolutely want to destroy RJ and Mike. So the first thing, Mike, that I disagree with you guys on, why are there gas caps on the hood?
What? It's a release. It's a hood release. And this
No,
is
but the hood pins on that one are way cooler, and this is dumb.
I don't believe that was factory on that car. I think that these are factory for this car.
Yeah, I will say going into this argument, I don't know anything about these cars whatsoever besides this one has a bigger engine, but there is something that I absolutely hate about this car. I'm not gonna say I hate the whole car. I think it's really cool in certain aspects, so I don't wanna just be completely negative, but come to the back, come to the back. As a JDM and German car enthusiast myself, because I have a couple, I just don't think this wing makes sense on this car in particular.
It does. It's got a lot of horsepower. It needs the downforce on the back tires. That's what it's made for.
RJ, show the wing.
The wing looks good.
Tell me that this wing is not mounted reverse.
You know that if you're behind this car, you see that 442 badge and this wing, that's the last thing you're gonna see. This thing will be gone.
I'm curious. I've seen 442s without the wing. I wonder if it's a specific spec that it came with the wing and then one that didn't come.
I'm sure it's an option. It makes it more unique.
I guess this is where we ask you guys, which do you prefer? Do you prefer the GTO or do you like the 442? Which one is the cooler out of the two?
What Brett doesn't understand is that this is a rear-wheel drive car, so you need the downforce so that those tires don't break loose. He's an all-wheel drive car kind of guy, so he's not used to donuts or burnouts or anything that's actually cool in the automotive world. So this doesn't make sense to him, and that's okay.
I like a wing. I just think this wing doesn't look cool on the car. That's what I'm trying to say.
What do you want, a big Subaru box wing, Brett?
Why doesn't this one have a wing?
It doesn't need it. Didn't have too much. It didn't have enough power.
I have a V10 and I have a wing. It makes sense in a V10. In a little baby V8, I don't think it makes sense.
Both these motors are bigger than the motor in that car.
All right, you guys tell us which one is cooler and does that car need a wing?
All right, time to clean the wheels on the 442. And obviously this is a brand new tire, but I'm gonna show you guys how we remove this blue. Actually, I don't know what this actually is or really what the purpose is, if for nothing else than to show you that this is a brand new tire. If anyone in the comments does know what this blue coating that they put over white walls or white lettering on these tires, please let me know. But the way that I've always removed it is, in this case, I'm gonna use our WD tire cleaner. You would use some kind of cleaner, preferably WD Office Supplies tire cleaner. I'm gonna go ahead and spray the wheel as well, let that dwell. But then I'm going to use an SOS pad to scrub those white walls and remove that coating over the tires. Gonna go ahead and pop off the beauty ring. Oh, and we'll go ahead and do the rest of the wheel. Give her a spritz. There you have it. it's a brand new wheel.
Before I get started pre-washing this car, I wanted to mention, so what I use in this pump sprayer is always a 50-50 of our pre-wash and water. It is safe for your car at home. No, your car does not have to be this dirty for you to use it. One of my favorite features about pre-wash is that it safely removes contaminants from your paint before you actually agitate it with a sponge or with a wash mitt. This helps prevent scratching and leaves you with a better finish. So let's do it. I just saved $150.
Look at how flat this paint is. It's either a really bad paint job or it needs some serious work. I totally walked around my whole life thinking that a 442 had a 442 cubic engine, but in reality, the first generation of this car, this is the reason it's called 442, had a 400 cubic inch motor with a 4-barrel carb and dual exhaust. That's the meaning of 442. This car does not have a 400 cubic inch engine or a 442 cubic inch engine, which doesn't exist apparently, because I'm a fool. It actually has a 455 cubic inch engine. So this thing is massive, about 7.5 liters. I can imagine how much of a riot this would have been to drive back in the day. This thing had 340 horsepower back in the day. It definitely needed a wing. This thing had a bunch of power. For back then, this thing is a very, very, very powerful car. With all that being said, we got to get this motor cleaned up. We are going to have the power and performance guys come and check this car out, see if maybe we can get this thing fired up. I'd love to hear how it sounds. Most of this motor is black. It is very greasy. I can see that. So our degreaser will have its work cut out for it. But I think a lot of this will clean up pretty good. Now we're going to use a really soft brush to get behind any of the badges that our wash mitts would otherwise miss, but I wanted to ask you guys, the badging on this Oldsmobile is either a rocket or an airplane. Why did they use that as their logo? Okay guys, so in every video you see us use our Iron Kryptonite iron remover, but sometimes it's really hard to show you exactly what it's doing. We use it on every single car, but on other cars that we do, you can't really tell visually what it's doing. Here, I'll actually be able to show you exactly how it's used. Even though this paint's not in the greatest condition, I'm still gonna do it just as demonstration purposes. So what you're gonna do, this is all iron that came from this rust spot and over time dripped down the paint and settled into it. So when you have yellow dots or iron that's in the clear coat or in the paint, it's gonna rust in there. And that's what this is made for. So you're gonna spray it on there and let it sit for a little bit. And now this is only a minute later and you can see all of the iron that's being removed. And your car at home probably has a lot of this iron as well. So that's why I recommend you don't even need to use a clay mitt. You can just spray iron remover onto your paint, let it sit for about a minute, and all the iron should get pulled out. Look at that. So we'll do this over the entire car, but I wanted to show you one section where that iron dripped down and how easy it is to remove. Any other iron remover, you can't sit this close because it smells like rotten eggs, but that's like cinnamon. I love it. And as you can see, all the iron that was embedded in the clear coat, now gone.
Moving on to the interior of this 442, I gotta say, I usually hate white interiors, but with the white accents on the exterior of the car and the white leather, kind of matches pretty well, and I don't mind it too much. And another thing about this car that I really, really like, and I didn't expect to see in it, is this shift knob. This is real wood, and I don't know why. It's so satisfying to push down on this little ball and just switch gears with it while putting it into neutral park or whatever, but I really enjoy that. This thing is a wreck on the interior though. The worst part about it is this steering wheel. I don't know if this is gonna come up on camera. I'll get a little close if you can hear it. It's really sticky. Like, I don't know if whatever material this is made out of is failing, but it is god-awful sticky and gets all over my gloves or all over my hands if I don't have my gloves on, so definitely keep my gloves on for this one. But I don't know what this is. If you guys could tell me what you think this is, it looks just like this is just breaking down. Everything else in here is at least here. We're not missing anything, and it seems to be in pretty okay shape, although very, very gnarly. But if you can see this is a nice little tassel from '82. So this guy's been hanging here since long before, 10 years before I was alive. I think we have, let's see, some 8-tracks. Styx Country Stone. That's seen better days. Remember the 50s and 60s. It's very similar to a tape player. As you can see, it has the same type of material. And then we got Foreigner. Pretty sick.
But now we're gonna get the seats removed, get all the garbage out, and start vacuuming all the carpets up. And now we're going to clean the floor mats as well using our citrus degreaser, which is nice because it's going to leave them smelling citrusy after they're done.
All right, everyone, now I'm to the point of extraction. And as you can see, this carpet is in rough shape. I gently vacuumed it and it started to cause more damage to this carpet. So what I'm gonna do is just lightly extract and recommend for carpet replacement for this car. The rear carpet's in pretty decent shape. We're gonna show that on camera of what we do, how we're gonna extract it. Again, I'm gonna be very gentle, but this front carpet, again, is just a little bit too brittle, so I'm not even going to bother filming this for y'all, but I'm going to try my best to make this look all right for him. Hopefully he gets it replaced and it'll look brand new after that.
All right, now it's time to polish the 442. Well, actually, I'm not gonna polish it at all because unfortunately this paint is roached. I don't know when this was repainted, but it definitely was, and it wasn't repainted very well. So we basically have exposed base color over the whole entire car. There's rust that's kind of bleeding through the paint. The only part of the car that actually would turn out somewhat nice is everything below this body line down. Unfortunately, the paint is just too far gone for any true result to come from polishing. So I'm going to elect to not polish it because, again, I think it would look worse if I did. It'd be splotchy and wouldn't be consistent. And I believe that the owner is going to end up repainting the vehicle anyway. So for that, I'm going to save my polish, my pads, and my time and leave it be. And I know some people might be upset, but sometimes it's just not worth it. Real quick, we received an order from Brittany Henry, who actually went ahead and emailed us about her husband, Casey Henry, whose birthday is actually today. Today's February 13th. And we just want to say happy birthday, Casey. Your wife wanted us to shout you out, so here is the shout out, happy birthday from us at WD. And they actually ordered our Purple Rain wheel cleaner, our tire cleaner, and the interior cleaner. So we're gonna go ahead and pack that up for you guys. Throw your sprayers in. Ooh, we usually do this better, but I'm trying to do it faster for the video. And we're gonna send it out today. So happy birthday, Casey. We hope it's a good one, and thank you so much for watching.
Now, even though we didn't polish the paint, we are still gonna polish the metal because that will come out nice.
All right, so now that we're finished with the 442, we brought in the guys from Power and Performance to hopefully get it running, which I'm really hoping, because as you can see, I didn't have anything to really polish. The only nice paint on the whole entire car is below the lower body line, because it was not that great of a paint job and the sun unfortunately destroyed it. And so there really wasn't much for me to do there. And then the interior looked really nice initially, but then the carpet pretty much ripped apart, and I just really need this car to run, because it was kind of a pain in the butt to work on.
Well, it doesn't matter how the outside of it looks. What's more important is under that hood. And we haven't seen that yet. We don't even know what motor it is. So let's find that out and let's see what we can do to make it run.
It does have these really cool, what do you call these? Hood pins. I guess they're not pins, hood latches? Hood
gaskets?
Gaskets?
Hood
gas caps?
Hood caps?
Hood gas caps?
All right, what are we working with here?
I'm taking a guess here that it's a 455, the biggest offering from Oldsmobile.
Okay.
Because that was a pretty popular motor to be put in these cars. Just initial looks, we've got, looks like some brand new plug wires on there. Let's check some fluids, that'd be a good place to start, right? Got some coolant down there. Let's find us a dipstick.
Here's a dipstick. Trans. Oh, look at that.
We got fluid.
Some red trans fluid.
Looks pretty clean too.
Smells delicious.
Got oil, look how clean that is. So let's check the tank first, see if we got gas in there, if we need to drain it. And then after that, let's hook the battery up and let's hit the key and see if it'll turn over. If not, then we'll put a wrench on and see if we need to actually roll it over. And we can go ahead and see if we got some fuel in here.
Another responsible owner who drained their fuel.
Let's go and see if there's anything actually on the hose.
I think we'd smell it.
No, it's dry. We should probably try to turn it over before we put some fresh gas in here to make sure it actually turned over. Give us a better chance for getting this thing started before we waste our time putting the gas inside the tank. Well, I don't even hear it engaging at all.
What's that?
Heck was
The
that?
ghost of Oldsmobile Pass because you're a dead brand? You want to be brought back?
At the fan?
The blower motor.
That's blower motor.
Did a little diagnostics, jacked it up, looked at the starter. It's looking like the power wire from the battery that goes to the starter is a little bit frayed at the end, but one last little ditch effort, little love tap with the hammer, and he just hit the key. We heard something. What was that noise?
Let's try it again. You might have to get back down there.
Oh!
She's turning.
That's a good...
Whoa! Oh, hold up.
All right, someone else take the keys. Wow.
What do we need now? We need some gas in the tank, a little bit of starting fluid up here, and hopefully we can see it run. Put some gas in the tank. Let's go ahead and see if we can't get it to fire off on some starting fluid.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Ready?
Yep. Go ahead.
Wow. No way. It's idling. Oh my God. Holy crap. I would have not guessed.
Yeah, there's definitely some water coming down from up front. Or is that fuel? No, that's fuel.
Ah.
Yeah. At the fuel pump. Yeah, it's pouring out of the top of the
Oh yeah.
fuel.
Holy.
So it needs a fuel pump at minimum.
Well, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
Despite how this car might look on the outside, the underneath looks really, really, really nice. The floor pans are super solid. The frame is really rust free. The underside of this car is really nice. That might make this actually kind of a cool cruiser, patina, just something to go out and drive in, versus when you first look at it, you're like, what is this thing hiding? It's super clean. I really like this car. It's gonna be a really great car for somebody.
But before we go, we have a question. Would you rather have this 442 in running condition with maybe nicer paint and maybe a nicer interior, or the GTO?
In the same nice condition.
Same nice condition.
For me, it's gotta be the GTO. I mean, you can't beat the GTO.
If this car were that color,
Oh, so it's a
this
color.
car-
It's a
for me,
color
it's a
issue.
color thing. for sure.
Well, that's 3 against 2. I guess Brent wins this one. Well, Michael, we are losers today, but hopefully you guys are winners by watching this video. That was an awful segment. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. It's been a long week. Anywho, we hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more like this, hit subscribe. Also, thank you to Power and Performance for helping us with this video. If you'd like to follow them, go to powerandperformance.com. What is it? Power and Performance?
You can go to clevelandpap.com, just Google us. But yeah, one of the first links will be the YouTube. But you know, there'll be a link. Brett will put a link in the description of this video because he always does, because he's great. And it's been a pleasure. It's our pleasure to come here and work with these guys. They're doing fantastic work. We love to see it. We love to be a part of it.
Love you, bye.